Alright, so I just passed 1K MRR on my school community, and in this video I'm going to explain the full process and everything I did to do this without a big audience. There are going to be two main parts for the video. One where I explain how I grew the community when it was free, some of the best practices that I used to get organic traffic as well, and also traffic from school. And then the second part is going to be the paid part, when I monetize my community, my pricing, and the strategy behind it. I used organic reach, ads, and school network to grow my first 1,000 members, and my first few hundred members came from ads. So I was running paid ads to an empty community because I have media buying experience, so I figured how it looks if I have a community about ads that's fully empty. I'm also going to talk a bit about the basics of a school group, and you'll see later in the call as well, it's really similar to having your own business. When you start a school community, you need to know what you talk about. If you sell a bodybuilding program, you need to look like someone who lifts. If you are a business consultant telling people how to generate an additional $1 million per month, it's really nice if you're also making those kind of money. In my example, I was working as a paid media buyer. I had multiple marketing agencies, so I had the media buying experience. So that's what I talk about in my community as well. I talk about meta ads. You need to have some kind of results or proof, but the most important part is just don't lie to your audience. It's fine if you say, I don't know anything about paid ads, let's say, but I'm spending my own money and I just spent $2,000 in the last month and I'm going to share my learnings. Exactly what I'm doing with this video. I'm not telling you how to scale a community to 10K per month or 20K per month because I haven't done it, but I'll tell you how I grew my community to 1K, what's working, and what I'm going to do next. If you have a business, you need to be active, and this is kind of tied together with point number 5, which is consistency. You need to show up every day, you need to reach out to your leads, follow up, and also check in with your customers. If you are too lazy to do that or you hate communication, this might not be the best business for you. And of course, for any offer, you need to learn the basics of advertising. So not just running paid ads, but how to make content, how to optimize for SEO, and also paid ads. The difference between building a business and a school community is school is just acting as an investor or an advisor. So for example, when you are generating traffic to your about page, school is going to reward you with more traffic from the school network. And also, if you know the basics of SEO, School is going to reward you with higher search ranking. And it's much easier to rank on School search than, let's say, on Google. So I had the media buying experience, I had the money to run the ads, but I had zero audience. So I had no following on social media and I had to grow my community. So I started from zero running ads. And it was really easy to run ads for a free community. I'm also going to share which ads worked and which one were the best converters and the strategy that I used, also my targeting. First, I'm going to talk about some of the best practices. This is going to be helpful, I think, for any school group owners. So I made a list and then I explain each point one by one. So I added a VSL, I used Loom videos and I'm going to explain why. I updated my about page copy. This is also for keyword optimization. And also I did some research on the best performers. I updated my school group cover image, the SEO, the keyword focus. I talk about the fire emoji, which is basically the consistency and showing up every day, how I ran ads for my own school community, how I cleaned up my redirect link, and also the Grow Boost feature, which is especially helpful for paid communities. And I'm going to explain why. First, let's talk about my redirect link because that's something I don't detail later in a different slide. But basically, if you share your school community on your link in bio or in your video descriptions on YouTube or any of your social accounts or in your ads, make sure not to use a redirect link. Previously, I used this, I used my branded domain, but it's going to confuse school. The attribution is going to be messed up, and school prefers if you drive traffic from YouTube or any social media platform compared to running direct traffic. So that's important to clean up. Don't use redirect links, don't use link shorteners, just use your about page URL. The first point is going to be engaging on school and specifically on schoolers. So if you have a school community, you have access to the schoolers community, which is a collection of group owners on the platform. School, after all, is a social platform. You need to engage, you need to be active, and I think posting is a great way to get your name out there. Here are some of my recent posts that I highlighted. These got good engagements, tons of likes, comments, and it's really great to meet new people, get engagement, and start conversations. Of course, don't just promote yourself and don't pitch everyone who likes and engage with your posts. Don't do it because maybe some people are going to buy, but me personally, I hate when somebody is going straight to the pitch. And talking about the social platform, make sure to be active, especially if you have a Skool community and especially if it's paid. Let's say you ask for $20 per month for a community that's totally inactive, there's no engagement, and even the owner is not showing up. Fortunately, once you join a community on Skool, you can check the activity of the owner. So I actually have my account as an example. Of course, here's my community, Meta as Systems, and you see I basically show up every day like crazy. Now, here's someone else who has a Meta as community. I blurred their face and their name, but this is a paid community. I think $9 per month. But if you go to the account, you see there's basically zero engagement. So you join a community, you pay the money, only to find out it's dead inside, the owner doesn't even engage, and the money is not coming back because Skool is rarely doing the refund. You have to reach out to the owner to get the refund. So just ask yourself this question: which group would you join just based on the engagement of the owner? I'll let you decide. Next, let's talk about keywords and SEO. So if you know anything about marketing, keywords, if you stack the keywords that you want to rank for, it's going to help you rank higher for that keyword. That's the basic idea for the SEO. I'm not SEO expert, but this is something I know. So I figured I want to rank for meta ads, and people are actively searching for meta ads. So I put meta ads in my community name, in my community description, in my cover image. The cover image doesn't really matter, but it's good. I'm going to explain on another slide why. And also in my group description, you see meta ads, and I keep stacking the same keywords. This is not the only way to rank in Skool search. There's also a keyword feature that you can use, and you have 11 keywords that you can put and you want to rank for. So for me, of course, meta ads, meta advertising, advertising ads. And here are some examples where I was rank 1 or rank 3 for meta ads. So the search results are always changing. Currently, I'm not in the top 3, but I used to be top 1 as well. And this is the strategy that I use. Of course, sometimes you need to update it, but that's the idea behind the search. Next, I'm going to talk about optimizing your about page. So of course, Skool just rolled out the review feature and they are currently A/B testing. For some groups they are showing, for some groups they are not showing. Currently, I have 4 reviews at 5 stars. But more importantly, a big improvement that I made to my about page is my VSL video. So you'll see the second slide is a VSL video and the last 2 slides are testimonials. So it's good to add a testimonial or a VSL, ideally use both, because as I mentioned, Skool is a social platform, and before people pay and they check your community, I think it's great if you make a video, just so they can get a feeling of your vibe, your personality, and you see the video style that I use on my about page is the exact same video format that I use now. I also have 2 member wins, Kevin and Kahal, and also some other slides with member feedback. And the reason why I said make sure to use Loom for your about page videos, because you can see the small images are moving. So basically, instead of having a static thumbnail, it's going to be an animated thumbnail. So if I click my video, you'll see there's the animation, that there's the caption moving, and I think it's a bit more engaging to get people to watch the video. Now, of course, there's downside to the animation, and the downside is it takes longer time to load. So that's why on the first slide, I just have an image, and if they actually are interested in the community, they can click, but then they need to wait a couple of seconds for the video to show, and then they can watch the full video. And then same for my testimonials. It takes a couple of seconds to load, but then you can watch the full testimonial. Next, let's talk about the cover photo. So this is the progression of my images. When my community was free, this was the first cover image that I used. Meta systems without any face, because for a free community, it's really easy to get people to convert. But as I turned into paid, I added my face. This was based on my best performing thumbnail from YouTube, but this was not really it. It was too dark, especially when you use dark mode. Your background is black and my cover image is also black, so it doesn't really pop. But when the background is white, it's popping so much better. And here I have an image of my face. and I just say master methods. I think it's much better. I don't know what you. So share in the comments if you think this is better. I think this is the best out of the three. And the reason why I made this design change is because Skool is running ads to your community. And if you are not a highlighted partner, they are oftentimes just taking the cover image. And the better your cover image is, the better the ads for Skool is going to perform. And then if your ads perform well for the Skool platform, they are going to make ads specifically for your community. So the way you need to think about this is people do judge a book by its cover actually. And the better your about page image is, the more likely is that they are going to click on your image. And also, if I go back to the search results, you'll see the different cover images. And then the more engaging or better your cover images, the more likely people are going to click on your group. It's basically like a YouTube video thumbnail. The better it is, the higher your click-through rate. And you need to use ideally an image of you, your face, as you'll be guiding inside the community as well. And then just in big words, big letters, highlight what the point of the community is. For me, it's master meta ads. And now that I mentioned that, let's talk about my ads for the free community. So first of all, to run ads for the Skool community, you need to go to settings and then go to plugins, scroll down and go to meta pixel tracking. Make sure this is turned on. And once it's turned on, you need to connect your pixel from Meta. Next, you need to go back to Events Manager and create a pixel specifically for your Skool community. So make sure this pixel ID is not installed anywhere else on your homepage, on a funnel, or a different Skool community. Use it specifically for your Skool community so you always get clear data. All you need to do is enter your dataset ID into Skool and then also go to settings. And under settings, just generate an access token, and this is what you need to connect your pixel to Skool. Now, a couple other important settings at the very bottom. Make sure track events automatically without a code. Make sure this is turned off. And you also have this feature, automatic website matching. Make sure this is all turned on. These are super important to make sure your pixel is working correctly. So this was my consolidated campaign. You see the structure is really simple and I only wanted to use one campaign. So first I just did a headline test. So what a headline test means is basically my ad concept remained the same. I just tested different headlines. So learn Facebook ads from someone who spent $5 million on them. Or here's another version, unlock the secrets of profitable ads. Now, my obvious winner was this with the social proof, so this is what I ended up using for the future campaigns. In the next round, I expanded the countries, so instead of US only, I did target some tier 1 countries, and you can see my cost per registration was basically half of the original one. So if I go inside, you'll see that the same ad pulled basically all the results. At $5 per sign up, this was my winning ad with a short ad copy. I did test some different placements, audiences, but the same ad and the same countries kept performing. So I grew about the first 200 members with Facebook ads, and then I used organic and Skool search to grow my community further. Again, sometimes launching more campaigns, but then it was just organically growing, and then the snowball effect started to take place. Alright, so we are getting to the second part of the video, which is going to be the paid community. And first, I'm going to tell a personal story, the failed launch, which I had. And this was the reason why I decided to turn my community paid. So I tried to launch a high ticket program to my community. Of course, I had 1,000 members and I figured, oh man, if I can just sell 1%, I'm going to make big money. So I rolled out a high ticket program, which is actually not high ticket at all. This was about growing a Skool community, of course, with ads. And I think the program was $9.99 or something, or 700 something. But because it was a free community and I was running ads maybe 2 years ago when the Skool platform was new, Hormozy didn't even talk. He was not an investor back then. So people were not really using Skool. So most of the guys that I got from the ads, they just signed up 2 years ago and they were still inactive. So out of the 1,000 members that I had, probably 300 were still using the Skool platform, but of course they were part of a free community. So maybe out of curiosity, they joined the Methods program, but they never really took action. They didn't watch the classroom video, and I got super frustrated to be honest, because all that time, all that effort, and all that money I spent growing my community, We finally have 1,000 members, big achievement, but nobody cared. Nobody joined the program. I think I had one or two people. So that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to turn the community to paid. If someone wants my free content, it's out there on the YouTube channel, but I'm going to make this classroom better. Instead of just having YouTube videos, I made specific videos to the classroom because if they pay, of course, I want to give something extra, but I didn't want freebies no more. So the plan I set up to monetize the community was a tier structure, and I'm still using the same one. And actually right now, this is my same pricing. So I have the basic plan with a 7-day trial, so really no risk, 7-day trial and only $9 per month. To access the community, to get full classroom access for $9 per month, I think that's great. The way I do it now is they unlock each month, they unlock a new phase of the classroom. And the reason behind that is to improve the lifetime value because they just join on the $9 plan, they watch all the videos or maybe not, and then they are going to leave the community if that's all they wanted. So on the free trial, you only have phase 1. Once you pass the free trial, you unlock phase 2, which is optimization system for your ads. But the AI workflows, the advanced scaling systems, they only unlock with time. So with 40 days and with 70 days. Or you can upgrade to premium, which is my instant upsell if you want access now. If you want access to the live training and replays, you need to upgrade to premium. Or, for example, for the live training replays, I don't mind giving it away for free, but then I expect members to get to at least level 4. So I want them to engage and post inside the community. My premium plan currently is $79 per month, which is everything in standard plus the weekly live calls and the live campaign reviews. So of course in the calendar I host live calls in the mornings, in the evenings, so it's perfect if you are in Australia or if you are in the US. Both of these time zones are going to work for you. And then I offer a VIP plan, which is just 798 for a full year and you get access to everything in premium, so the live calls, the classroom, and you also get an onboarding and audit call, and also 6-week ad mentorship, basically one-on-one calls with me. For a full year, you can space out the calls if you want to take a call every month, every 2 months, but most people just take the calls every week and then we refill again once the calls are finished. So far the tier structure seems to be working, but there was something else that I added to my community which completely changed the performance. And that was the free trials. So if you watch the school news, you know Sam, he always talks about free trials, use free trials, you cannot lose. And I was skeptical because of my experience that the free guys are not going to convert. But what happened is you can see my charts and with the red line, I added the day exactly when I added free trials. So you can see my MRR 7 days after started to go up because they started to join on the free trial. And after 7 days, the trial was over and they started to convert. And my MRR is still climbing. Look at my conversion rate. I was hovering around 2%, but the day I added free trials, my conversion rates shot up to until 6% and growing. I just had a huge traffic spike in the last couple of days, and that's why my conversion rate is dropping, but I'm still above 4%. So that means if my free trial conversion rate is 50%, so I convert 5 people out of 10 who joined the free trial, is still good because at 6% conversion rate, my effective conversion rate is going to be 3%, which is still higher than my original 2%. So I think free trials really work, and I think Skool also prefers community who have a free trial, and I believe they are pushing more traffic to groups that have a free trial. And you can also see how my signups skyrocketed basically the day I added the free trials. Now, something else that Skool is doing, and this is why I mentioned Skool is kind of like an investor, is that they are holding your hand and they are basically getting you traffic. So the growth boost feature is something like that. You can turn it on and off, and originally they just changed it. Originally they took 30% of your money. Think about that 70% that you do receive. That's free money that you otherwise wouldn't received because Skool actually got you the customer either through search or ads because school is running ads to your community, or just through discovery. So imagine if your group is $99 per month and you are running ads and you get a sign up at $33 per month. So that's a crazy good campaign. And now instead of paying that $33 to Meta ad spend, now you just pay it to school. So this is how they updated it now. They just added a slider and now you have the option to give more money to school. Some people immediately moved it to 70%, so they only want to keep 20% of the money. Of course, this is the way school is monetizing the platform, and they are going to push communities that are more expensive and that are giving a higher percentage. Now, Growth Boost is not going to fix a shit community. If you churn is 30%, if nobody is purchasing or nobody is converting during your free trial, just setting growth boost to 70% is not going to save your performance. So it's good to have the basics down first, have an engaging onboarding process, have a good classroom, have a good product that people actually sell and they also invite their friends to, and then you can scale up the growth boost. I think that makes the most sense. So I just passed 1K MRR and my next goal is going to be 3K MRR. So what I'm doing next is I'll keep focusing on my content building on YouTube mainly. So I'm posting long videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays every week without an excuse. I try to make it. On Wednesdays, I do a live call and I post shorts on Mondays and Fridays and sometimes more. I try to post trial reels every day on Instagram, and I also use SEO, so I repurpose my YouTube videos as social content and also as a blog post on my website. And there are certain keywords that I rank number one in Google search, so I'll keep doing what works already. YouTube, I think, is a really good long-term game because imagine you get monetized and you get paid for views for promoting your business. That's amazing. So I'm definitely working on the YouTube monetization. As far as on school, as far as what I'm doing next on school, I'm going to be collecting more reviews. So currently I have 4 5-star reviews. I'm going to hope that more members leave me a review because it's not the best practice to ask for the review. And also school is going to penalize if you say, I'm going to give you a free consultation in exchange for a review. So don't use any incentives. If people enjoy your community, they are automatically going to get a message from school. I think after day 90 that, hey, if you are enjoying the community, make sure to leave a review. Of course, I want to get more wins and case studies. This is mainly for the people that are on the yearly plan, because if I'm doing the consultation and if I'm helping them, that's the easiest way and the most likely way to get great results and great wins. If you check out my about page, the wins I have already are pretty impressive. I want to provide more value and build a killer classroom. Of course, with the changes that Meta is doing, it's a never-ending process. And with the AI creatives, it's always changing. So it's always keeping me busy to update the classroom. And I also want to talk to more on and I also want to talk more to my customers on what they actually want. Do they want more live calls, more classroom materials, or just posts inside the community, or maybe creative ideas or media buying strategies? I'm going to perfect my CRM as well. So how I send DMs, how I activate people on the 7-day free trial. And as I mentioned, my next goal is going to be the 3K MRR. I'm also planning to raise my prices on September 1st. So at the top, I have my current pricing. And here at the bottom, you see I move the $9 plan to 27. So my goal with this is to get people on the yearly plan because one, that's where I provide the most value. And two, it really helps with the lifetime value because people stay for a longer time. They are not churning after month 4 or month 5. They are actually staying for a full year, and it makes more sense financially, both for the members and for me as well. So as long as I have availability to do the one-on-one mentorship, I'll keep the same price. And currently, my best customers don't have any problem paying this amount of money. So that's my plan. I'm building in public. You see my live calls on Wednesday. Every week I share my exact numbers on Skool. And if you want to see more inside my community, the exact prompts that I use for my creatives, the exact workflows, and just be part of the process, make sure to scan this ugly QR code, check out my community, use the free trial, and I'll see you inside.